I'm going to bet you $1 that I can control your mind. A $1. Watch. Watch. Going to bet $1 here. I've got 5 cards. 5 cards. I've got a poker chip here. And if you were here in the studio with me, I'd say, I want you to take this and I want you to slide this poker chip in front of one of the cards. And let's say you slid it over there. And I'd say, are you sure you want to leave it there? And you say, well, I'm going to change my mind. And let's say you slid it over here. And I say, great, are you sure? There's a $1 on the line here, 100 pennies, a single dinero. Do you want to leave it there? And let's say you know, I want to change my mind one more time. And let's say you slide it over there. And I say, are you sure? The jack, you're sure? You say, yes. And I say, well, I guess I get to keep my $1 because I predicted the jack of spades would be your choice. I have a bill. On the bill, I've got jack of spades. Okay, I've got jack of spades to match that card. I've got this folded in such a way that I can handle it casually, but very casually, okay, just like this. It's folded, it's perfect, it can be put in there, and this may seem obvious, but it takes a while for these really important commercial details to make it bulletproof in the real world. So there's my jack of spades. Now I have them slide this poker chip. This could be a key, this could be something else. A poker chip would go to a dollar store, cost you nothing to get a big stack, and on the underside of the poker chip, I have the 4 of hearts, okay? So, we've got the 4 covered. We've got the jack covered. I have an envelope. In the envelope, tucked in the very bottom, I have 10 of clubs. That is covered, okay? Which leaves us with the king and the 3. Well, the king is here. You will choose the king of diamonds. That's on the underside of the envelope. So I got the king covered, got all these covered. As for this one, boom, different color back. So I have 5 outs for 5 cards. Now, it's one thing to know this principle. It's a whole other thing to know how to perform it in a way that makes sure people are impressed rather than skeptical. Okay, so let's look at the setup here. Very important. I designed this to be all self-contained. You've got the cards gathered up in no particular order, okay? I've got this 10 of clubs prediction, and I've got it tucked way down inside the bottom of the envelope. So it's way down here. That's important, okay? I've got my cards. I've got my dollar bill. I've got my poker chip, okay? I've got this all tucked in here, and then I close the flap, so all this stuff's up here, and I put this like that. So this is self-contained. This whole thing could be sitting in my back pocket, my jacket pocket, my performance case, whatever my situation, and I am ready to astound people. So here we go. I say, look, I'm going to control your mind. I'm going to control you. Think you have free will, but watch. I'm going to control. And I just use the phrase control. I take this off, open, I hold, make sure my prediction that's inside the envelope doesn't go anywhere, while I shake everything else out onto the table. This, maybe you clip it here if you want, whatever, but basically I tuck this off to the side. I don't remove it fully, it's off to the side. All the focus is here. Take these out. Lay these out on the table, okay? Think of one, change your mind, go back and forth, whatever you want, okay? And in fact, just to make sure that everybody knows exactly which one you're thinking of, your final choice, I want you to slide this. So now you give them this choice. When they stop, don't rush them. Remember, maybe you've already said, I'm betting you $1. $1, I'm putting my money where my mouth is here. So everything has a reason for being there. It's all there. You say, slide this, go back and forth. Make sure they have a free choice each time. When they stop there, are you sure? You're absolutely sure. You don't want the 10, you don't want the king, you don't want the 4. Really emphasize this, okay? And maybe they change their mind, maybe they do this, maybe they do this. Now, these work in varying degrees. Let's say, we'll start with the 4. Let's say they stop there at the 4. I say, you're sure, the 4 is it, none of the others. You don't want the king, you don't want the jack, you don't want the 3, you don't want the 10. I've got money riding on this, I'll tell you, but I think I'm going to get to keep my $1 today. And I take all of this and I go south with it. I put it in my case, my pocket, whatever. I say, I guess to get to keep my $1 today because turn over the poker chip. So all this is off the table. They turn that over and it looks impossible. Okay? So you're going to see that important handling idea of removing the things off the table as you go is very important, okay? So let's say they did the 10. Let's say they do the 10 next, okay? So they're doing this, finally they stop at the 10. I say, you're sure you want the 10? They say, yes. You don't want any of these? No, you don't. Well, there's a $1 riding on this, but I think I get to keep my $1 today because, and I open this, and I reach inside, and I shake it down, and I show them, this is important, there's nothing else, I show them, and I'm covering with my hand just so there's nothing. Is there anything else inside? It's essential they see there's no other prediction inside. They see nothing else. I say, go ahead, open that up. And again, boom. Okay? And as you gathered everything up, you could even take the poker chips. So the last thing on the table is this. There was no other prediction. That's amazing. That's absolutely convincing, okay? So we did the 4, we did the 10, and notice that we keep removing things as we go. The same principles apply. If they do the king's on the back here, this is safely tucked away, okay? So there's no reference to anything inside there. You gather up everything, you say, I guess I get to keep my dollar, because I knew you were going to choose the king. And they go, why? And you go, well, look, you will choose the king. You have that sitting there. Boom, okay? And of course, so we've done all of these. The one we didn't do is the discolored back, the 3. Same deal with that. They stop here, okay? Pick that up. I performed for you guys originally the dollar bill one, but if they stop at the 3, the same thing. You don't want any of these. You're sure you didn't want any of these. Narrowed it down. You narrowed it down to the 3. Or actually, I apologize, guys. I guess you leave those there. Should say, gather all this. I guess I get to keep my dollar because you chose the 3. Thank you so much. You know, I knew you were going to choose the 3. Pretty amazing, huh? This all goes to your pockets. And they're kind of chuckling at you thinking, well, you could say you knew I was going to do the 3, but how do you prove it? And then you just do this, this, and I always say, go ahead, turn it over. And you could even, of course, have this with a big black X on the back as well, whatever you want.